Hey, welcome to Love and Liberate. I'm Emily, your host. I'm a self-leadership coach, embodiment teacher, artist, and an activist for love. Now, I don't mean the fluffy kind of love. I'm talking about the real, the raw, confronting kind of love, the kind that cracks you wide open and liberates you, creating a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Because that is what I believe life truly is about. So through personal stories and inspiring, soul-stirring conversations on all things healing, embodiment, and spirituality, I'll help you navigate the good, the bad, and the ugly with tangible tools, fresh perspectives, and of course, a truckload of love. Here's to loving and liberating, one heart at a time. Hey lovers, thank you so much for listening. I love that you're here. I don't know whether you're going to regret being here though, because today I am raw. I am real. I am unfiltered, and I'm very passionate about this. I'm also a little bit messy in this episode. I take some weird curves and I make some contradictions make sense, I find. And I just need you to know before you embark on this journey with me. Because we're going deep. We're going places, okay? I'm going to be talking about spirituality as a commodity. I'm going to talk about the danger of unqualified coaches and all of these self-proclaimed healers out there. I'm going to share a very personal story, my breathwork story. And I'm going to explain to you why I'm never doing breathwork again. Even though I did find someone who I might trust at some point in the future. But not today. And then this whole rant, just to take you to my final statement, trust your own truth. This is my truth in this moment. This is not the truth. So while listening, also trust your own truth. That's the journey that I'm taking you on to the end. And also while listening, trust your own truth. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't, okay? That's really important before we dive in. I hope you enjoy. And if you don't, then that's also fine. Because life isn't always enjoyable. Sometimes it's just... and that's how I'm feeling today. All right. Enjoy the episode. Let's dive in. Today I want to talk about one of my greatest, I want to say pet peeves, but that's just way too mild of an expression for what it really is. My greatest annoyance is the thing that really, literally keeps me awake at night. And that's talking about how spirituality has become a commodity, how it's become an identity that people, dress for, and all the things that come with that. It's not just that spirituality has become, instead of a personal private practice, it's become some kind of identity that we want to, and a group that we want to belong to, because that would be in itself not the greatest problem. But also what happens is that people get certificates of all kinds of practices, and then they start to teach and heal people, quote unquote, heal. And they have basically no idea what they're doing because they haven't been through shit in their life. They don't know what it takes to be an actual reliable practitioner or therapist. And people, they have no idea when they're coming into someone's office or someone's therapy room. They have no idea whether that's somebody who just had a certificate joining a 3-day online course with some kind of self-proclaimed guru somewhere, or whether this person in front of them is an actual 4 years studied 5 different modalities in different directions trained kind of human, and that's a huge problem because the client no longer knows what they're getting, and also the practitioner kind of loses touch with reality and has no idea what the damage is that they can actually cause if they're not knowing what their actual expertise is, or what their actual credentials are, or what their actual level of, let's say, level of practicing really is. It sounds a bit weird, for lack of a better way of saying it. I'm putting it that way, but I'm just baffled by how people are, without any shame, taking on people with like insane trauma histories, and then saying that they will heal them over this 6-week online program, transformational program. And like, the bigger the promise, the better you need to prepare yourself for unsafe, unprofessional practitioners, because somebody who is an actual trained practitioner, who has like profound knowledge and experience with trauma and everything what that entails, really, what that means, really. They know you won't find safety in 6 weeks. They know you won't transform everything that held you back in 6 months. You know, like, healing, and every little part of healing is a lifelong journey. Like, as you come into this world, you start your healing journey, whether there's a transformational coach by your side or not. You are stepping into the soul contract of, this is what I'm here to do, and let's take on this shit, you know? That goes for everyone. So we're constantly healing as we're facing adversity, as we're going through heartbreak, as we're losing the people that we love through sickness or life, you know? This is all part of the healing journey. Like, that's always been the case. Don't get me wrong, I am thrilled about the fact that finally spirituality, mental health, and all of it has become part of our like main discourse, like that everybody's talking about it, that we're all creating a language for it, that everybody's practicing this language and this presence with the most important part of our being, like our soul, our heart. And so all of that is good. So there's a lot of positives that this whole spiritual world has brought to us. And in the same time, I feel it's really important to better inform our own clients, but also each other and you as a listener, whether you're a practitioner yourself, a therapist, or just a human trying to figure out their life and interested in spirituality. It's so important to inform yourself properly and to hear other voices other than the people screaming that they have the answer, capital T, capital A, you know, like, it's just not true. You are your own guru. You are your own healer. You came into this world saying, vamos, let's do this shit. And you are the one who's walked yourself all the way into this very moment. Congratulations, motherfucker. That's quite the achievement, you know? And there was no guru by your side. And we don't need all of the hyped up spiritual people telling us what to do. So, yeah, segues me into the next part. I'm extremely fed up with randos with some certifications somewhere telling you what this and that means, speaking to you about what your trauma looks like or what your behavior means about you. I'm also so fed up with everybody talking about narcissists and narcissism as if they are demons, the demons of the planet. Like, no, they're humans just like us. They need help just like us. And they are no worse than, you know, anybody else trying to make their way through life. So in the whole spiritual community, there's still a lot of judgment. There's a lot of polarity, even in the non-dual tantric community where they're striving for non-duality, which in this world is impossible. I'm not saying don't strive for anything, but let's just acknowledge that we come in contradictions, you know? that there is a black because there's a white and the other way around, you know? We need duality in this world. And yes, we strive for connection and we strive for wholeness. And that's a great thing. And I'm happy for that. And also, let's not bypass the dual nature of our material reality. Oh my God, I'm just overflowing. I think I need a gazillion podcast episodes if I want to get rid of this this extreme fire that is burning inside. And I hope you're still with me as I'm taking all of these curves in this episode. But it's pouring out of me and I'm not stopping. Because I want you to hear this. I want you to feel this also. Feel the truth inside of your body as I'm speaking. And I'm not saying that I am speaking the truth. This again is just my perception and this is just me. And this is one of the contradictions inside of me. This is one of my polarities. I'll be saying, don't listen to everybody preaching, and in the same time, what am I doing? I am preaching. Am I judging? Yes, I'm judging. I am no saint. Because I love it when people go like, I mean, I'm not judging or anything, or I'm not saying this to judge, or, oh, well, I'm afraid you are, and that's also fine, because also you're just a human, and humans, they have preconceived ideas that they think are righter than something else, and I'm no less human than anyone out there, so yeah, here I am, judging. I'm judging the fact that people with very little knowledge and very little experience are putting themselves out there as massive, major healers, because that's just dangerous. And I'm going to speak to my own experience here. And that's also why I'm bringing this up and why I feel so strongly about it, is because I had a breathwork experience, I think like 10 years ago already. And I had no idea what was going on. She was an osteopath and she was treating me in a more holistic way, I was told. And I was like, well, very rock bottom and really holding on for dear life. And yeah, I knew no better than to just like go with what she said to do. So she guided me into some breath work, very profound, very deep breath work. And I just full on went for it because I had no idea. I was not warned. I had no idea what I was doing or what was maybe going to come. And so as I was doing the breath work, I felt like a few sensations coming up, a few things very unpleasant, and then afterwards, not really like some kind of release or relief at all. Not that the breath work itself was extremely intense, but it was highly unpleasant, and there was no relief. What did happen, though, is that the coming 3 weeks, I walked around more anxious than I'd ever been. I couldn't even get on public transport because I was just, I would flip out. I was walking around the world with my earbuds in because I could not stand any outside impulse anymore. I felt like I had no skin anymore. That's how sensitive and how open all of a sudden I was, while I was already like extremely losing all sense of context and limit and boundary. And yeah, it was insane. And then ever since, I've been in many situations where breathwork was offered. And one time, like 3 or 4 years later, somebody said, let's do some breath work. And I was like, well, I have some pretty nasty experience with it, so I'm just going to pass on this one. Well, but mine is different. Have you ever heard that before? No, mine is different. No, if I do it, it's not like that. Okay. Because I want to believe it, I try it again. And guess what? Again, my system is completely over-triggered and completely overwhelmed. And the rest of the day, again, I feel like I have no skin and I just have to lay in bed and, yeah, hope for this to go over. and hope for it to go over sooner than the first time, because that was absolutely horrendous. I literally couldn't properly live. Anyway, it passed. By a day it was over. Next day I woke up and it was fine. But like, I can't believe that I fell for that again. And I tried to explain also to this woman, saying like, listen, I'm really sensitive and I'm really susceptible for these kinds of practices, I guess, and da. Yeah, no, it's going to be mild and no, it's different with me. Okay. It wasn't. Because I know my body best. And it's okay sometimes to see where your limit is at and to, like dip your toe into the water outside of your limits. It's okay. But in the same time, it's also okay to trust your own gut and trust where your limits really are and just acknowledge them and respect them. So that's another lesson I learned. Always trust yourself and not the practitioner. Always trust yourself first. And even if it's trauma talking and trauma is talking you out of a very healing opportunity, then you're just not ready for it. And that's also fine. Like, we don't have to push ourselves in this healing thing, like, it's fine to just not be ready, or it's fine to take more time, or it's fine to take smaller steps. You don't have to go into the Amazon and have ayahuasca, It's okay to just gently have a chat with your therapist on a weekly basis if that's what feels really nice and safe for you. So I think that's a very important next point that I wanted to touch upon, is that you have the agency, the authority, you have the truth inside your body. Nobody, literally nobody, no matter how educated, well-trained, experienced they are, they can ever tell you what is right for you and your body. And that is a holy rule that not a lot of practitioners tell when they start. How many people out there doing Kundalini activations, which is a very tiny certification that can bring up very big emotions and traumas and situations in someone's body or heart or memory or anything, It's very disproportional, and that's also why it's not often seen for what it is. Anyway, if you walk into a space, I mean, how many practitioners have told you you're always right? Your truth always rules mine. Always stay true to yourself. Now more and more people are saying this, but I've been in many situations where they kind of push you because they want to show you how healing they can be. It's ego-driven sometimes. Go deeper, go deeper. No, fuck no. Don't go deeper if that's not right for you right now. Trust yourself. Again, not saying that slightly, gently pushing your limits isn't a great way to get out of your comfort zone and to find new limitations and to find also new horizons and to see that you are more than you maybe thought you were, or to push beyond some of your fears. Absolutely. Again, both and. These two contradictions, these two truths, they stand alongside of each other. And we need to hold them both as dearly. That was another point that I really wanted to make. If you're still listening, I have another point that I want to make. I'm so on fire. I'm only human, okay? I'm not going to redo any of this, and I'm not going to edit any of this. This is just me being as raw and as honest as I can be. Not because I think that I should, but just because I have no other way today. Okay, does that say anything about where I'm in my cycle? Yes, I'm gonna bleed soon. This is how I get. A little bit angry, a little bit feral, and really honest. But still holding both truths in the same time. Let's always remember that. If there's one takeaway from this episode, have that be your one truth, that there is always more truths. and that we live in a dual world. There's no other way. That's how we do this. It's the feminine and the masculine. It's matter and energy. It's creation and destruction. It's life and death. It's black and white. It's everything only exists by the grace of the other thing also existing. And that's also for me. That goes also for me and for you. I exist by the grace of you. And all of this, It's poetry. It's beautiful. It's life. It's full of contradictions. It's so messy. So the less messy someone shows up as a practitioner, well, maybe the more you want to check whether that's somebody you really want to be learning from. Because that's another thing. Everybody tries to clean up their Instagram and clean up their socials and clean up this and that and make sure they look such and so. And everybody has now the tools to, to shape their own image. But it's dangerous also because we're kind of dehumanizing and glorifying normal people who make mistakes, who don't always know what they're saying, who are just throwing something at something sometimes, and then sometimes they get it right and sometimes they don't. But they now have the tools to present themselves as gods and goddesses, which they actually do, by the way. And it's dangerous because there's so many people out there who are godless, feeling lost because they have no God. They have nothing greater to believe in, and they are looking for something to hold on to. That's one of the big things that happened when religion in our culture started to fade into the background. I think, and I don't know, I'm not a anthropologist or a historian or anything, but my guess is that when we started to lose faith, we started to lose religion as the backbone of our society, but also as the backbone of our life, it was what dictated how we moved through the world, why we did what we did, and what we shouldn't and should do. And all of a sudden, God falls from his pedestal. Well, religion basically fucks it up for her. And here we are, left with no reason to live, nothing greater than ourselves to believe in. So what do? First, we idolize and we glorify Hollywood stars and singers and actors and all of that. And then all of a sudden we're like, wow, fame, that looks cool. I want a piece of that. And then we make ourselves into some kind of superstars on social media. It's insane, basically. Everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame these days, and everybody wants a greater following, and everybody wants to be, seen for something, or I feel, especially in the spiritual community, it's like, I have the truth. No, I have the truth. No, I have the truth. I don't think that's the point of all of this, guys. I think it's more like, hey, this is my truth. If that resonates, I'll be your guide for a while. And then when we're done, you can find your next guide. Or maybe you become a guide and then other people are being guided by you. I don't know. So I feel in a way that religion becoming falling from its pedestal, and then we looking for the gods inside the humans around us is a natural and in the same time unnatural course of events. It's natural because we are looking for guidance, for help, and for somebody to tell us what to do, how to dress, what to look like, and in the same time, it's unnatural because we have this guidance inside of us and we constantly forget it because we're so scared of not belonging that we're scared of not belonging. One, because it's survival. Belonging is our primal need above all else. We need to belong, otherwise we're dead because we can't survive. One human is just nothing. So we need our peers to be safe. And then comes in culture telling us that we need to do such and so and look like this and that, because Hollywood is an industry. Don't be fooled. Hollywood is an industry to which is a truckload of money connected. And like the images that they sell, they are the real products they sell. So they are telling us we have to look a certain way in order to belong, because if we don't look that way, we won't belong, and if we don't belong, we die. That's how our brain works. So in this need to belong, we look up to some people that will tell us what to do in order to belong. So that's a natural thing again, and it's unnatural again to be so disconnected from your own truth that you are not looking for what is right for you inside of you, and by listening to that, finding the tribe that you naturally will belong to. Because probably if we do that, there will be a lot more diversity. There will be a lot more different needs than the ones that they want us to have so they can sell us their products. This is becoming a very anti-capitalist rant, and I'm okay with that. So, to continue my point that I was making about the gurufication of people, self-proclaimed gurufication, I think I understand that we're looking for guidance and that we want leaders, and I think that's a really good thing. And in the same time, here's duality again, I want to let you know that you have the truth inside of you. And whenever you see someone speaking as if they hold the truth, like I'm doing right now, always feel in your own body what happens and double check whether that is true for you or not. And if it's not true for you, then that's fine. That doesn't mean that you need to go troll and mean comment them. Just, can we hold the duality? Can we be fine with the fact that you are feeling something else or something else is true for you right now in this moment? Because in, who knows, a day something might happen and you think differently about something. That's how fast it goes. I just want to speak to your agency. I want you to feel that you are in charge of your healing journey. I want you to carry the key, to know that you carry the key, and that anybody promising you some kind of transformational such and so, that can be the case. Like, I've had extremely transformational retreats, trainings, experiences, absolutely. And I don't attribute them to them necessarily. I see it as a joint venture, and I can see how I was susceptible. I was open. I did the pre-work, and now I showed up in a way that allowed for this specific healing situation or this specific transformation to be available. And also, never forget the people who are around you. A practitioner or a teacher or a guide, they can only be as good as their students. Like, together you create a field, and together which you're with what is inside of you available and ready to break through, that is what holds the breakthrough. That is what creates this magical field of transformation. So yeah, I wanted to emphasize that, give you back your power a little, and make sure that you take care of yourself in these spiritual times that we are living in. And don't mistake a perfect Instagram for a perfect coach, because there is no such thing. There's no perfect coaching. There is definitely people who can teach you some things. And make sure that it's based on authenticity. That's what I wish for you if you're seeking out guidance. And that's also, like, that's another contradiction in me, is that on one hand, I want to help people. I want to guide people. I feel like I'm a really good teacher. I'm very experienced, very equipped, very well trained, well read, all of that. But then in the same time, I don't want to do what I hear everybody else out there do in selling these transformational programs. So there's another field of tension, let's say, between these two polarities of me not wanting to be telling you what to do, but then in the same time me feeling like, oh, I gathered some tools that are so precious and that I really want to share, but how to do so in an authentic way. You know, if you see me on Instagram, you know that I love a joke, you know that that I'm honest, that I share my thoughts, my heart, and I don't do that to gather clients. I do that because I need to. Like, for my own sanity, I need to express myself the most authentic way I can or know is possible or available at the time. Yeah, as I always say, I teach what I know and I learn what I don't know. I am a forever student, and even though I'm teaching while I'm studying, that's it. I don't think there's another way. I also think it's really important to keep your own private development, like private practice of self-development and therapy going. I'm a very, very, very big fan of all kinds of therapy that I continuously practice myself. Like, I have many different therapists. Because I think that's probably the main pillar of doing the work for others. And actually, I saw Yuval Harari speak to that in a reel the other day. He said the most important thing is my weekly therapy session, because that's what allows me to do the work that I do. Because it's through my eyes that I see the world. It's not that he said it that way, but that's how I'm understanding it for myself. It's through my own eyes that I see the world. So I need to train these eyes. Like, I need to know where I'm tricking myself, where I have filters on, where the blind spots are, so that I can more clearly see into this world and more clearly see another person and more clearly see myself. Because I do feel that the more clear I see myself, the more clear I can see another. It's like the blinders, they widen and widen and widen every time I meet myself in another layer of my depth, you know. So that's it for today. I have so much more to say. It's ridiculous how much I have to say. And I think I touched on a little bit too much for one episode, but I'm just starting. I'm a huge perfectionist, and I'm not gonna go there right now. I'm just gonna enjoy the fact that I used my voice best way I could, that I showed up for myself, that I showed up for our every Wednesday meeting, because consistency is very challenging for me, but here I am showing up for myself, showing up for you. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to sign up for the waitlist, you can find all the links in the show notes. It's emilyiris.com/waitlist. You can find me on Instagram. My handle is by.emilyiris, or you can email me with everything that you want to share. If you want a special guest on, if you want me to elaborate on a certain topic, or if there is something you would like to share with me from your heart, you can do so at love@emilyiris.com. Again, you can find all these in the show notes. And then I wish you a very lovely rest of your day and of your week. And I can't wait to hear from you and to be back here next week to share more of my spinning thoughts and raging heart. Here's to loving and liberating one heart at a time.